Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and I'm going to work on the cover for the Hope mini journal today. So here's my fabric. I just got what did I get, a half a yard? I forget now, quarter of a yard, half a yard. Okay, so, and I like it so much, I am going to let it be the inside and the outside of the cover. So I'm going to just dive right in here and fold this. Let's see, how much am I going to need? So, let's see, something like that. So I'm going to cut that selvage off, and I'll probably allow that much space, and then I'll allow that much. This will stick out a little bit, probably. Okay. All right, well, let me do that first. Let's see. I work off these cookie sheets, you know, and move them, take them in and out of the rack, which is really handy. But then I'm looking around for my scissors and stuff because I set this big cookie sheet down. Okay. All right, tear that off. And like, do I want that? Yeah, I think I want that for my scrapbook. Something like here, probably. Hope y'all are doing good today, having fun with your crafts, or watching videos about crafts. It's a nice sunny day here after a really cold, windy, ugly day yesterday. I've been watching some videos. I've been watching a lot of studio tours. I got on a kick of watching studio tours, and that was fun. I love seeing what their spaces look like that they work in. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's see. Probably something like that. All right, so then I just need another piece just like that for the inside. I'm just really loving this yellow. So cheerful and happy. So my second piece, which, you know, of course, they never are exactly the same, which is fine for me. Do something like this. Been working on the new journal, the new faith journal. Let's see. That's going to need to be frayed out a little bit. That's cut with scissors. It's a full-size journal on faith, and has not all, but a lot of the scriptures about faith that we turn to. And I used field notes, like a field guide book. So there's a lot of like botany and zoology and things like that, notes from 100 years ago that people wrote as part of the texture for it. And anyway, it's going to be a fun one. Okay, something like that. And so these are scraps, and this is going to be the journal. And then I always use my little baby blanket, my quilt liner I got off Amazon. I've been cutting on that for a long time. It was a great big one, of course, great big piece of cotton batting, thin. In case you haven't seen me do it before, it's real thin, cotton batting. And I just cut one thickness of that, use that in the middle just to give it a little bit of body. Let's see. And I'm okay if it sticks out a little bit somewhere, but try to get it as close as I can to the same exact size. I hope you all are impressed. I have clean white plastic down. Threw all that other one away that I've been using for a long time. You guys are probably wondering when I'm going to get tired of using that old dirty plastic. But I went to Sam's Club. And if you're here in the United States, you know what that is. And they had a big roll of very, very thin plastic that you cover tables with for really cheap. Well, it should last me until the rapture comes. So I chopped off pieces of that, and I thought, okay, I can change this plastic out and have a nice clean plastic background. Of course, you know I'm kind of tight, so we'll see how that goes. I might still use the old plastic for a while, but anyway. Okay, so this you have to cut, of course. You can't. And, you know, I have fabric scissors, but that would require some energy that I don't possess right at the moment. So I'm going to just use these dollar scissors that I always use. Get that out of there from behind. I'm sure I'm still on here. And just chew it out with my cheap scissors. All right. Get that out of the way. So I've got this. And then I'll lay this on top. And then I am going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch just right around the edge. And I'm going to leave these raw because I like the look of that for these little mini journals. Okay, so I got that stitched. And I was looking at this as far as which side I wanted to be the cover. And that's really pretty. I need a place for the title. And that's also pretty. I think I'll do that. It looks like a little bit more open space for a title maybe. So, okay. So I am ready now to put this on the signature. So I'm going to put this in here and line it up, get it right in the middle. Hopefully same amount of space at the top and bottom. And clamp it. So I need to find the center. There it is. Clamp it. You want to clamp it while it's just barely open. It makes a difference. You don't ever want to open it flat and try to sew it. And then I've got my awl, my needle, get my waxed thread. I do 2.5 times the length of when I'm sewing. So something like that. Run my thumb over that to flatten it so it goes through the needle easier. Pull out a tail about that long. And I'm going to punch a hole in the middle, not where that one was, but sort of off from that one. And just a little bit off. I don't want to try to find those holes through that cloth, so I'm just going to make new ones for this. That's why I do that. And then I come back here, and I want to quickly put that needle in, hopefully find those holes. And you know what? I think I'm going to go from the inside because I want the threads to the ties to be in the middle when I get done. So I'm going to pull it through and then make sure I've got this tight here. Okay, so now Okay, so the thread's out here. So I'm going to poke a hole up here just a little bit. I'm going to poke a hole just a little bit down from the top. And hopefully hit that with my needle. Okay. And then I'm going to try and go back through the hole I put in the middle. Hold this tail down so it doesn't snag it. And see if I can get it. Now that, getting it through the cloth. Oh, I did it. Okay. Well, sort of close. I was going to say it's never come through exactly in the cloth where it was to begin with. And it didn't this time either, so. Okay. Am I happy with that? I don't really like that. It's too far off. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that loose, and I'm going to pull that. I'm going to pull that last one. I'm going to pull that out. And then I want it to go right back. Let me see if I can get it from here. I want it to go right back. Close to that hole that was there to begin with. So I'm not hitting that same hole, but I'm hitting it right close to it so it looks nice. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I decided to clamp it top and bottom to see if that, I want to make sure it doesn't get wonky. Okay, so I've got this back here that came back out. So now I'm going to poke a hole up here near this end. To move my clamp out a little bit. So poke that through, and hopefully that lines up decently. And take my needle and try to see if I can hit that all the way through. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here's, let me pull the threads tight and see. I think that will work. I'm going to go ahead and tie, and I'm going to tie this in a couple of, I'm going to tie this in like 3 knots just to make sure it stays in. I never had any trouble with that until my last journal, and I noticed it came loose, and I'm like, what is going on? So I'm tying it 3 times this time and cutting that thread. Okay, I normally stamp my title, or that's what I've done on a lot of them. So I think I'm going to do something different this time, and I'm going to just hand letter the title Hope. And so I'm going to take a piece of this muslin and tear off a strip. I think that's probably plenty wide, so I'm going to go ahead and tear that. And just something like that. I'm going to use a Statler 0.5 pigment liner, it says. And I'm hoping that it's not going to run and make a mess, but we'll find out. I'm going to do the faux calligraphy on it that you've seen me do on paper and see if it works on cloth. Hopefully it will. I think that's about the right size. And I'm just going to do the word hope. So I'm going to take a scratch paper here and just do a couple of practice runs. So like here, something like that, just to give myself a little boundary there. Okay, so let's see. Well, this works great on this, on this paper. Okay, well, let's see what I can do. See if it will work on this cloth. Okay, now I'm going to try and do the faux calligraphy. Just see if I can do it. This would be better if I had it clamped down solid to something. Okay, so over here, the downstroke is where you add thickness. That's how this works. So and this is the downstroke. And you put it on whichever side needs to be thickened up. So I put it on the outside of that line. But it could have gone on the inside if you needed it to. Let's see. Up and then down here. Up and down. It starts down, going down right about there. Okay, so down. Feel like it needed to get thicker right there, maybe. And this could come down just a little bit, I think. I think I'm being pretty careful, so let me thicken this up. Hopefully I won't go too far. If I do, I'll just have to make another one. Well, there's a second one, and I have to say I think I like, oh, I don't know. There's things on both of them. Maybe this is the better one. Okay, let's see. right, so I am just going to take some thread and stitch that on. I could do, actually, you know what I could do is use some, let's see. It's almost like an orange, isn't it? But not quite. Well, I mean, I think that would work. I'm going to use that. Sort of center it. And I'm going to do the whole slow stitch where the knot shows and everything, I think. All right, cut it off. And that's that. Got it all, got the cover all done. Okay. So the only other thing we have to do is figure out how we want to shut it. And I think what I'm going to do is get my Hug and Snug out here. See if I have one that goes okay. I mean, I need kind of a warm pink. Oh, that'll work. Okay. All right, and I'm going to put it around it and stitch it back here so that it just, I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me see. So I can wrap it twice and then cut it so it can tie in a ribbon here and then stitch it here so it doesn't fall off. Okay. I guess that's what happens if you're going to wrap it a double time. You've got one that's longer. Okay. Good to know. I'm going to pin this on while I tie a knot in my thread again, using up what I have left of this embroidery thread. I'm just going to stitch this ribbon on here. Easier said than done, apparently. So I hid the knot under there. I'm just going to take a little stitch here, maybe. And put that out now and then go back over it a couple more times just so that it won't pull off if there's any kind of tension or anything on it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gosh, you guys, does this stuff happen when you craft? It is crazy. Sometimes the stuff that I have to redo, and it seems like things run so much smoother when nobody's looking, but maybe it's just my imagination. I guess maybe it's always like this and I just don't notice it if I'm not shooting a video. But brother, when I'm shooting a video, sometimes crazy stuff happens. Okay, so I'm going to put the needle in, but I'm going to go back under because I want the knot to be hidden. So I'm going to twist it around. Okay, hopefully I didn't make that look harder than it needed to be. So I have this short piece in the back, this long piece here, that can now be wrapped twice around to tie it shut. And hopefully look nice when you tie the bow. All right, and there is the Hope mini journal. Oh, hope you enjoyed that. Also, as far as a flip through, I will, I always go in and do just little doodads in between the finish video and then when I actually do a flip through. So I will probably do that, and then I will shoot a flip through video next time, and that'll be it. And then we'll move on to the Faith Journal, which should be about ready to go out on Etsy here in a few days. So anyway, thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, please click the like button. I really appreciate it, you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.